PlayStation VR isn't that far away, and that's why today gameranx wants to talk to you about 10 things you need to know about the PlayStation VR hardware. Number 10, it's comfortable. That's probably one of the bigger concerns that people have about the PlayStation VR hardware, but they've done a lot to make sure that it doesn't hurt your neck. In fact, they've worked hard to make it a balanced device that has no weight pull on the front or the back of your head or either side, obviously. It's also made to be an easy device for glasses wearers with the means to telescope out the visuals and make sure that you're accommodated if you are visually impaired. Number 9, the specs. First up, the screen size inside is 5.7 inches. It has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, so normal 1080p, except it splits the number so it's actually 960 per 1080p each eye. It has two compatible refresh rates, 90 Hz and 120 Hz, a 100-degree field of view, and a latency of less than 18 milliseconds, which by the way is extremely good on account latency is a big thing if the goal is to simulate a virtual world that you're directly looking at. It features 360-degree tracking that uses 9 LEDs and is compatible with the DualShock 4 and PS Move. Number 8, there are no frame rate drops allowed ever. And the reason for that is a frame rate drop could very easily cause motion sickness in this situation. There are 3 allowable frame rates, and reprojection, a feature that interpolates frames at all times, is required. The first frame rate is 60, with reprojection on, essentially creating 120 frames per second, 90 frames per second, which does output to 90 frames per second, but still has reprojection turned on, and 120 frames per second, and yes, you're still required to have that reprojection on. Sony is not playing around. They do not want people getting sick from this. And let me tell you this right now, that makes me happy because I get sick from frame rate drops. And that's without VR. Number 7, the launch bundle is actually pretty good. It comes with a headset and the cables, obviously, stereo headphones, a VR demo disc for you to try out this cool new thing that you bought, the PlayStation camera, which by the way is required, we'll talk about that more in a moment, 2 PlayStation Move controllers, and a disc called PlayStation VR Worlds, which presumably contains some social games, not unlike the social stuff that we see on PlayStation Home. We'll see though. Number 6, pre-orders in the UK are insane. Whenever they put it up, it's gone in like 10 minutes. And the actual game shops are asking for £100 deposits to do PlayStation VR pre-orders. United States pre-orders for the PlayStation VR start March 22nd, that's Tuesday, and you can get it either as a standalone or also as a bundle. If you don't have a PlayStation 4 already, you'll need to shell out the $350 as it does not work without a PlayStation 4. Number 5, cinematic mode will actually give you the option to play any PlayStation 4 game in the VR headset. It's not going to be the same experience as a VR specific game, obviously, but you can have up to 3 levels of zoom in order to see specific levels of detail, and frankly it should be a pretty interesting prospect, though the more terrifying games I'm not sure I want to play with. I think I'll maybe just wait for the VR specific horror games that I end up having to play rather than going back through all of my library of terrifying games in order to give myself a heart attack. I'm just gonna stay away from that. Oh, by the way, that virtual screen that you'll be playing the game on is up to 225 inches big at a distance of 2.5 meters. In other words, basically the size of a wall. Number 4, some notable games coming out for it are obviously PlayStation VR Worlds, which comes with it, Adrift, which is a first-person adventure game that is also coming to the Xbox One, GOLEM, which promises things like sword fights with giant people that look terrifying, frankly. Lots of glowing eyes in that game. A mech game called Riggs Mechanized Combat League, which I have to say looks pretty cool. Eve, Valkyrie, Ace Combat 7, and Gran Turismo Sport, which I gotta say, I have a feeling a VR Gran Turismo is gonna be my jam, because it's already the best looking racing game of all time, every time they make a new one, so imagine it for real, basically. There are over 230 developers that are building games for the PlayStation VR, including indies and large AAA studios. Number 3, speaking of October 16th, that's when it's coming. It's going to be $399, and all things considered, that is not a very long wait, nor is it a really high price, especially if VR is something you're interested in. Frankly, the bar is not high for entering the VR arena via the PlayStation experience, and there's a pretty good chance they're going to get the jump on a lot of other companies thanks to this price point and release date not being too far into the future. Number 2, remember how I said the PlayStation camera is a requirement? Well, that launch bundle I talked about a few points ago, before I gave you the normal normal price is $500 and comes with that camera. It's a little bit higher than the main price point, but understanding what it includes, it's much better to go that way. $399 for the base package or $499 for a package that includes a lot of stuff. I would say if you can, go the bundle. It just seems like that's definitely a more worth it option. And number one, if you did render another image to the TV, specifically an asymmetric image to the TV, like another player playing the game, you're going to have to drastically change what you do. Because you're using the same PlayStation to create both the VR image, which has very strict frame rate requirements, and another image for somebody to play on the TV. And that means developers are going to have to budget their GPU cycles a little bit more, which essentially means they're going to have to be careful about where they put the detail. On games where somebody's using a VR set and there are other people playing on the TV, I would guess you're going to most likely be seeing a lot more party games, probably things that look a little bit more Nintendo-like than like Call of Duty. Really, I think the possibilities outweigh that type of an issue by a lot more. I think it's a good time to be optimistic about the PlayStation VR and what it's going to bring PlayStation gamers. Are you excited about it? Leave us a comment, let us know what you're thinking, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click the like button. If you're not subscribed to GameRanx, now is a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every single day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time right here on GameRanx.